more things, because this is all happening in a year, mind you. The TPP trade agreement.
That was a good move. That was a good move.
Richard's
you got to give the president credit where credit is due. Withdrawing the United States from the Trans-Pacific Partnership was a good move because it endorsed and called for and basically allowed for open slavery in Malaysia, because for the deal to happen, and I'll harp on this point, and for the Obama administration knew this, for this deal to happen, they needed the Straits of Malacca. And in order for them to get the Straits of Malacca, they basically had to say, all right, Malaysia, you can have slaves. And those slaves, now, you're like, slavery? I don't believe that. What are these slaves doing? So if you buy your shrimp from Costco or Sam's, or any of the big box bulk stores, maybe Walmart, and 99.9% of the times, your shrimp is probably made via slave labor in Malaysia.
Right.
Just so you know.
I mean, but let's be clear here.
Like to inform you.
Donald Trump did not drop out of the TPP because he cared about slaves in Malaysia.
No, he thought it was a bad deal for the American worker, and I agree with him.
And coincidentally, it also had that side effect. Okay, so other things Donald Trump's doing. Threatening to walk away from the Iran nuclear deal, which is just a mistake. Angering European allies who see America going back on its word with that deal. Vowing to build a wall on the U.S.-Mexico border. Pulling out of NAFTA.
Now,
Richard Fowler. Tough on trade, Richard Fowler.
No, well, I see, like, pulling out of NAFTA is not, I think I don't think I would call what he's doing pulling out of NAFTA. I think that there is...
Threatening to pull out?
No, I think that NAFTA needs to be reworked to benefit the American worker.
Deal.
It is a bad deal, but NAFTA, come on. NAFTA's not a bad deal for the American worker. Mind you, those jobs are going to go overseas regardless.
Sure.
But NAFTA basically said you can go overseas faster, like maquiladores. There's a word created because of NAFTA. The factories that skip the border for cheaper labor.
I don't know what the right thing is to do there. I mean, is American manufacturing even something we're still trying to protect? Like,
we should always try to protect American manufacturing. These are hardworking, blue-collar Americans.
It depends on what it is, though, right?
So what should we do with them? What should happen?
I mean, people are smart. They can do things other than manufacturing.
So what do you say to the auto workers in Michigan, Detroit, Michigan?
When you close their factory down
and move their jobs to China.
I'm saying there's no easy answer. Like, there's always going to be some level of outsourcing. Like, there is no easy answer, right?
Well, no, I think we can stop. The problem is this. We allow the countries that do the outsourcing, who are the countries who receive the outsourcing, so they would be the insourcer of the outsourcing, right? What we do is we allow them to get away with trade atrocities that are ridiculous. I mean, China has manipulating currency. We could demand, if you're bringing these products back into the United States, that you have to have certain labor standards for free trade agreements.
I agree with that. I think that's a
right. Like, I think that there's room for us to do that, and I can talk at length about in the TTIP negotiations, which is that they're trying to create a free trade agreement between North America and Europe, and I actually think the TTIP is a great opportunity for the left and the progressives to say we believe in fair trade, and trading with Europe will give the United States an opportunity to basically because I mean the European working standards are up here. Their labor standards are very high. Right. Our labor standards are shit at best, right? So if we are trading with the Europeans in TTIP, which we'll see where TTIP goes under President Trump, it's probably dead in the water. But it allows for us to then level the playing field a little bit and move American labor standards up a notch. Yeah. What NAFTA does, what the Trans-Pacific Partnership does, is it takes our labor standards down a notch because you end up having a race to the bottom on wages because you're competing with... American workers can't compete with Singapore because the cost of living in Singapore is a fourth, and Singapore is the wrong country, Indonesia. You can't compete with Indonesia because the cost of living in Indonesia is a fourth of what the cost of living here is. So it's going to be, they're not even, it's like comparing apples and oranges. So, but with that being said, I think it is a job of an American president to look out for those workers. And I think for far too long, both Democrats and Republicans have neglected these workers. And they've neglected these workers, and the reason why these workers voted for Donald Trump over Hillary Clinton, the reason why these workers overwhelmingly rejected Democrats in midterm elections, because these workers are saying to both parties and both establishments, look at us, we're here. We built this country on our backs, okay? If there was no Ford Auto Company, there would be no America. We built this country. Yes, Ford is a name, but Ford is nothing without the United Auto Workers. And those workers that work really hard to produce those damn cars. Same goes for all the other manufacturing companies that we have in this country. And so to neglect those workers and to not remember those workers when we go into negotiations with foreign leaders because we want a better trade deal, and these trades will make our economy stronger. You make our economy stronger for the hedge fund managers who work on Wall Street who have $2,000 suits, but the Detroit auto worker is living in piss poor conditions. That's not a solution. And so that's why people voted for Donald Trump, and I think it's very important for progressives like yourself and others to be like, oh, there's no real solution to this. No, we need to find a solution, and we need to have an answer for these workers.